Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so figured I'd just turn on the camera and see what happens. It's 4 a.m., so I'll try to keep my voice down. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me, so hopefully I can keep it at this tone. I'm not really thinking about anything particular in regards to myself. Right now, I'm just thinking about this is a very, very random thing, but it's not that big of a conversation at all. Random publications in regards to basketball, NBA basketball, sports in general. Sometimes I find it that there's a publication on Facebook. I do not follow this publication. NBA updates or something like this. I don't know how. I guess it's just natural algorithm stuff. You know, you talk about something, you think about something, it pops up in your phone. But the problem is with this particular publication, nothing that they post seems to be accurate. And I mean nothing. It's all hearsay, it's all rumors, and they're all loose rumors that don't have a whole lot of merit to them based on looking for information in other articles and finding none. Now, I could automatically just write this publication off as a bad publication that posts NBA rumors that aren't true. But I think that, and while that could very well be the case, I think what I'm coming to terms with what I've already thought about for the longest is that it's hard to keep up with NBA news, right? So if you're one of those loose publications that gets a rumor from a loose source, you know what I mean? That rumor could be given to you for misdirection purposes. That rumor could have been made up by you, obviously. Or it could be something that you heard that could be possible, but the reality is GMs and owners and stuff like and people in that circle, they are constantly trying to figure out ways to uh, get players on their teams and figure out their situation and work their cap space, all that, and it's going to be done constantly. So let's say for example, the GM of the Sacramento Kings, and I'm talking about trading player A to the Pacers. Okay, but I'm also talking to the Charlotte Hornets. I'm also talking to the Brooklyn Nets. I'm also talking to just about every other team about moving pieces all day long. So whatever your rumor is could be true, and it could have been a 30-second phone call where we both walked away saying no. But your publication is going to get whatever information is leaked by whatever source chooses to leak that information for whatever reason they choose to leak it. So let's say, for false example, I say PJ Tucker decides to sign with the Lakers. And I come up with that rumor because I heard someone around the Laker organization saw PJ Tucker at the Laker facility shooting the ball. So that's an indicator that something's up, even though it's literally not. If I take that information and run with it and say, embellish it a little bit, say, PJ Tucker was spotted at the Laker facility. He looked like he was at home, or some type of suggestive lie. If I were to come up with that, right, put it out there, and he happens to sign with the Lakers, right, some like 2-3 months down the road, it makes my publication look as if it were on point, as if it had some merit to it, because I took the information that was loosely available to me. I worded it in such a way that allowed you an understanding, and then from there, things worked out in that narrative's favor. It doesn't mean I was right. Doesn't mean I'm any better or worse of a publication. It just means I got one right this time. I think that publication is one of those. And what needs to happen is we need to be able to differentiate between those publications and the shams and the Wojs, because there's a difference. Because sham and Woj is not going to get information that's hearsay as it pertains to misdirecting you into thinking that something took place that didn't go that way. I don't think those guys who have reputable names in the business, those two particularly, because I think that's who everybody can hang their hat on, they're not going to be attached to a publication or a circumstance, rather, that operates in that way. So you can trust their information, etc. It's closer to what is actually happening. That doesn't mean that because they got the information, things can't change and they too can be wrong, because just like the publication could slip up and be right, with ever moving pieces and ever changing situations, conversations all day long, they could get it wrong too. You might find out that the publication that saw PJ Tucker in LA is actually on to something, and Shams may have gotten information based on real conversations that were close to taking place, but those conversations just simply don't manifest. And it looks like the crazy publication or the false publication is doing the real job, and it looks like the Shams and the Woj guys got it wrong. So it's one of those situations where, yes, are there lying publications? You'll see them all over YouTube, guys who will literally make up stuff that isn't real. Bradley Beal to the Clippers, like they'll just come up with something and then just put it all over every publication, or rather every video they do. That's not even close. That's not even close. But I'm talking about the guys who probably don't have insiders, but they do have connections to the water boy or something. They got connections to the janitor or something. And the janitor does see who comes in and out of the place. You see what I'm saying? Just for example, all this. I said all this to say, when I open my mouth, I'm definitely not Shams. I'm definitely not Woj. But I'm also not those guys either. And I don't want to come off as those guys. And I don't want to give you information that can be molded into thinking that I have some type of insight or communication with people or anything. As of today, nothing like that is in my life. I don't know none of these people. I haven't talked with any of these people. I haven't had anybody reach out to me, give me information. I ain't had none of that. I have people that I know who know people. And maybe I'll get some information from people like that. And that's usually only attached to my team. I don't know people from other teams, stuff like that. So if I say anything and I happen to be right, it's because I'm reading the tea leaves and I'm taking the information given to me from everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. And I'm taking what makes the most sense, stuff that I could find more than one article on, and then I'll bring you that. And if it's for any reason other than that, I intend to tell you, like, look, this is something that I'm just mulling over. This is possible. Or I see something there. Maybe there's a scratch and sniff. Here's something to look at. That's about as far as I can go. Now, if things change, I will let you know. But as of right now, I ain't claiming to be anything other than a person sitting in his household, looking at stuff on his phone and coming to conclusions as he does. Now, the reason why I operate this way and the reason why I have confidence in operating this way is because I know NBA. I ain't gonna say I know basketball because that's not accurate. The sport of basketball is much more broad than just understanding a league that plays the sport. But what I can say is I understand the league that plays the sport from a basic point of view. And what that means is I know how teams are supposed to be structured. I know how basketball is supposed to be played from a more than basic perspective. And I'm always looking at the rhythm of the game and the art of the game. And it's helped mold my mindset, my rhythm, and how I strategize in my life. It's taught me a lot. It's taught me understanding the importance of teamwork and all the various different things that you get from sports that ultimately helps you be a better teammate in life. So I try to incorporate a lot of what I've taken from watching professionals in those ranks at the most, the highest level. It's taught me how to kind of bring what it is I bring to this in a level that I trust and believe will be something I'm proud of later on. So that's what I take from NBA basketball players, their dedication. I try to apply to other aspects of my life. And that's why it's important to me to uphold the integrity of their business as it pertains to speaking to you about it. And so that's what this is about, man. It's about defining myself this early as somebody who does not intend to be one of those publications that just gives you a bunch of rumors and it tells you to figure out whether or not it makes sense or not, or figure out whether or not you want to believe it, or figuring out whether or not it should be considered rumor or factual. If anything I say is just hearsay and speculation, unless I say that I got it from somebody like Sham or Woj and I trust it. Other than that, I'm just talking, man. Literally just talking. And so the thing that gives me confidence is having been right several times in situations where I didn't have anything but my mind and the information available to me. I deduced what I saw and came to the right conclusion without hearing anybody else talk about it or without getting too much information from them. So when you have that type of luck and you be right sometimes, it gives you the confidence to think that you could actually pull this off. So, and plus, I've been following basketball my whole life, as you guys probably already know, and a lot of this stuff is just useless stuff in my head if it doesn't get utilized in this way. It's as simple as that, man. I don't know anybody in my life that would love basketball the way that I do. I used to bother my mother talking about this stuff. She would listen because she liked letting my mind go, but she wasn't detailed into this like that. I was only one, so it's like when you don't have anybody in your life that shares your interest to the degree you do, it's kind of just useless. It's just kind of just there. So for me, it's been kind of just there since I was 9 years old. So this channel had to be created so that this stuff can make some sense. But yeah, man, NBA basketball. I think I was put here to try to lend my voice as a fan with the uniqueness of my way of looking at the world. I think I can provide some angle that no one else has. And I'm going to see things a way that very few do. And that's just what I've learned. I look at things from an angle that most don't. And doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean that at all. It just means that I'm confident. And I've been right a couple times. So that is the gist of my point of view. I think I'll cut off this video here. I guess I'll call it a therapy session. Anytime I don't know what to call something, it's going to be a therapy session. So that's exactly what this is. My name is BDF 44. I hope everyone has a fantastic Wednesday, and I'm out.